Well. Is it Halloween? Is this October? Because judging by the two Christmas trees in my house, I was thinking this was December. The reason I am asking is because if this was Halloween, I would completely understand the fear that is coming from the Yentas on The View. Now, just in case you don't know, they are very afraid of Halloween. You would think that Halloween would be one of their favorite holidays. It's the one time of year where everyone is willing to put on a mask. But in reality, the opposite is true. The women on The View, they are very afraid of Halloween. Why are these people gathering together? What happened to social distancing? I saw one kid dressed as Beetlejuice, one kid dressed like Squanto. It was so racist. Are you guys familiar with the wonders of the world? I think there's 7 of them. I think the Taj Mahal is one, the Great Wall of China. You know, instead of importing Chinese toys that break once you open the box, we need to be importing Chinese labor. Maybe they can teach our federal government how to properly build a wall. But anyway, I have got a proposal for the 8th wonder of the world. There have been proposals made in the past that were ultimately rejected. I remember in the late 90s, the WWF was calling China the wrestler, not the country. They were calling China the 8th wonder of the world. But I think my proposal is better. I think the Yentas on The View, they should be the 8th wonder of the world. Because there is no explanation that you could give me that justifies how these women in the whoopee cushion are still drawing an audience. This morning, as I'm researching this story about Ted Cruz, I looked up the most recent ratings on The View. A couple of months ago, I was actually getting excited. The heavily promoted season premiere only drew 2.1 million viewers. The show was heading in the right direction. If lonely women continued to find men that were willing to be with them, it was entirely possible that The View would be off the air by the summer. Apparently, though, these romances, they didn't stand the test of time. Hell, they didn't make it past the honeymoon phase. According to the most recent ratings, The View, they are back to averaging 2.5 million viewers. That is dreadful, incredibly frustrating. How does this show have an audience? With all these dating apps available, with lonely women literally having access to thousands of men on their phones, you mean to tell me there are 2.5 million lonely women that can't get a date? There are 2.5 million lonely women who spend their mornings inhaling toxic mouth farts? Why? Ladies, if you like the smell of flatulence that much, get yourself a man. I promise you, he will not mind giving you the real deal. Unlike the whoopee cushion, he won't need the assistance of an air compressor to provide toxic gas. Just cook him a good meal, wait a couple of hours, he'll have your apartment smelling like the WNBA dump. Recently, Ted Cruz released a new book. The book is titled Unwoke: How to Defeat Cultural Marxism in America. He should have called me. I could have helped him out with the title. He should have named the book Unwoke: How to Defeat the Shitfucks. Unlike Jamel Hill's memoir on mythical racism, this book from Ted Cruz is actually selling. As of this morning, he was ranked #1 on Amazon in the category of new releases. Now, if you're an author and you wrote a manual on how to defeat woke United Methodist, where would you go to promote it? Well, Casey, I would go on Fox News. Well, yeah, that's obvious, but Ted Cruz, he already appears on Fox News. The only politician that appears on Fox News more than Teddy is Ronnie Mantis. You'd want to go on Fox News to promote it, but you would just be preaching to the choir. You're not going to create controversy by appearing on Fox News. When you're trying to sell a book and you're not willing to tithe Preparation H to woke United Methodist, you gotta find a way to get noticed. You need to find a way to generate headlines in the media, because the mainstream media, they are not going to give you free promotion. Jamel Hill, she can release hardcover toilet paper. The media, they'll promote it for weeks, maybe even months. Someone like Ted Cruz releases a book, the media ignores it. With Ted Cruz writing a manual on how to defeat the deacons, the best place to promote the book would be The View, right? What better place to debate shit fuckery than engaging in a heated debate with the Yentas on The View? Ted Cruz, being the intelligent man that he is, he challenged the ageless beauties to a debate. Now, I would imagine that he asked them to read the book first, or in the case of Big Red Joy Behar, Teddy provided someone to read the book to her. With all the plastic surgeries and Botox injections, along with the 720 years living on this planet, Big Red's eyes, they're just not functioning like they used to. Now, this book, it was released on November 7th. The ladies, they were given plenty of time to read it. What's that, about 30 days? Tedward, he reaches out to them asking to appear on the show. No response. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe his email was directed to the spam folder where all other emails from normal people end up. So Raphael reaches out again. No response. Okay, now this is getting weird. I know they have access to their phones. The ladies, they are constantly posting pictures of these extravagant vacations. Remember when Sun Hostin, or, as her friends like to call her, Asuncion? Remember when Sun took a trip to Coney Island last summer? She visited the hot dog stand, told her followers that Nathan has the best grilled wiener in New York City. Being the avid baseball fan that he is, Ted Cruz, he didn't get discouraged with 2 strikes. He stepped back up to the plate, reached out to the ladies a 3rd time. This time, he actually received a response. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. Unfortunately, though, it wasn't the response that he was looking for. We are not able to fit you in our busy schedule. We will be in touch if anything changes. Let me translate that response for you. After covering this show for years, I have learned to speak fluent Yenta. Dear Ted, we are afraid to have you on our show because you're willing to challenge us on our bullshit. If you contact us again, we are going to falsely accuse you of harassing us and charge you with violating the woke commandments. With proper pronouns, the whoopee cushion. Ted Cruz challenged The View to a debate. They rejected his offer. Not once, not twice, 3 times. I wonder why. Now, on the surface, this doesn't make any sense. I know The View is not struggling to draw ratings, but this debate would make great television. Along with the 2.5 million lonely women that tune in daily, Ted Cruz, he would be able to attract normal people who would be finally willing to watch this garbage for the first time. So why would they reject his offer? When you're on a television show, your only goal is to draw ratings. Why would they reject a guaranteed ratings draw? I just wonder if it has anything to do with Ted Cruz's appearance last October. Last October, Ted Cruz purchased a gas mask and appeared on The View. During his appearance, he absolutely humiliated the ladies on their own show. Watch for yourself.
Anytime a Republican is in front of a TV camera, try to say the election was fair and square and legitimate. You know who y'all don't do that to? You don't do it to Hillary Clinton, who stood up and said Trump stole the election.
Storm the Capitol. They didn't try to kill my former
Abrams, who said that the election was stolen. They sat here and said it was illegitimate, and you guys were fine with it. Okay, so it's illegitimate when Republicans win, but not when Democrats win.
No, here's the thing. We may not like when Republicans win, but we don't go and we don't storm. We don't try to change, but we'll go to
Did I miss an entire year of Antifa riots where cities across this country were burning and police cars were being firebombed?
I guess you did.
Your position is the left doesn't engage in violence, really?
No, they wanted to noose our friend Mike Pence. Like, how do we make sense of that?
You just accused us of doing something we didn't do. You said Hillary Clinton didn't say whatever she didn't say. I'm saying to you, listen.
And she said it's sitting here, and you were fine with her saying it was illegitimate for Republicans to win.
I can't get inside their minds, but I'd be willing to bet that clip is the reason the beauties on The View are refusing to debate Ted Cruz. Not only can they not win, they would be embarrassed. It is impossible to defend it. You can't defend the indefensible. How can you defend something like telling parents they have no rights to know if their kindergartner is thinking about changing genders? How can you defend woke cities like San Francisco that have streets littered with doodle? Residents of San Francisco, they're wanting to go back to the days when the streets were littered with paper or cigarette butts. Those were the good days. Today, if you're walking the streets of San Francisco, you gotta pack an extra pair of shoes. The plastic princesses on The View, they're not the only ones who are afraid to debate Ted Cruz. Once he realized that his offer wouldn't be accepted, Ted Cruz, he decided to try the next best place. Instead of reaching out again to Big Red for the 4th time, Ted, he decided to reach out to her protege, Little Red Riding Hood, Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki, she was able to parlay her career as a professional liar in the White House to a position where she makes millions of dollars preaching the false word on MSNBC. Jen was so good behind the pulpit, MSNBC, they decided to give her one night every week in prime time. Now, parishioners, they can listen to Jen preach on Sunday mornings, and they're blessed with a follow-up sermon on Monday nights. On multiple occasions, Little Red has stated on her show that she is open to Republican voices on her platform. She is opening her platform to people with different ideas. She's opening her platform to people with different ideologies. Translation? Jen Psaki is opening her platform to normal people. Ted Cruz decided to accept this invitation. Since Big Red rejected his advances, he contacted Little Red and asked if she would be willing to debate. Jen Psaki replied, "I am passing on this opportunity." Oh, I'm sure you are. After seeing what happened last year on The View, I'm sure it took minimal thought to pass on this opportunity to be humiliated on your own show. This is why they want their opposition silenced. This is why every communist country in the world puts a ban on free speech. You can't defend these ideas. There's just no defending the indefensible. If Jen Psaki was so confident in her politics, why would she not welcome a debate with Ted Cruz? In a way, I can kind of understand why the women on The View didn't want to debate Ted Cruz. They have no experience. They are used to spreading their fantasies without being challenged. Jen Psaki, she's got plenty of experience. She spent every day as the White House press secretary trying to defend the failed policies of John Biden. Now sure, she only had to defend them against the one, maybe two people in the media that were willing to call it out, but she still has more experience than the women on The View. Jen Psaki rejected Ted Cruz because she knows she cannot defend her positions. Just like The View, Jen Psaki is afraid. She's afraid to be embarrassed. More importantly, she is afraid to lose credibility. Now, of course, she has no credibility with normal people, but Jen Psaki does have credibility with the wanker spankers. She's got credibility with the lonely men who watch her show on mute. But give me your thoughts on this. Ted Cruz challenges The View to a debate, gets rejected. Challenges Jen Psaki to a debate, gets rejected. Why? Give me your reason. I think they are afraid to debate him. I think they know they would get humiliated. But why do you think that is? Why do you think they rejected Ted Cruz? Give me your reason. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.